Hello again and welcome back to Art of Taxidermy channel. Today's project, it's not going to be only in one video. So there is a series coming up. What we have is multiple pedestal, like two. One of them is double, one of them is triple. We have three big games in one shot and two big games in another shot to go on a single pedestal. So unfortunately this deer form that came in, it didn't have the plywood block in the back, and we need that plywood to be there so we can attach it to our stand for proper position for mounting it, because if they come, as you can see, only with the rods sticking out from the brisket, it's almost impossible to mount the thing. It's going to be very difficult. We need to have them attached to the mounting stand. So it didn't come with the block. We are going to put the block in there ourselves. And also the curve that you see, where part of it is also broken on top of the mannequin, it didn't really look right. It didn't really look good, so I changed that too. So anyway, as you can see, I put the piece of 3/4 inch plywood in the back, draw a line around it, and make a deeper cut with my jigsaw. And basically what I do, I call it cookie cutter style. So I make a whole bunch of cuts to be able to dig it out easier. As you can see, I'm going crossways in that square area, and then use my bigger knife to pop those pieces of foam out, so I can create enough room in there for that block of plywood go back inside. I wish it did come with the plywood. Most of the pedestal forms that we buy these days, they do come with that block of wood inside of them. I don't know why they didn't do this for this deer. This is Pere David Deer. I call it prehistoric deer because it's the weirdest looking animal I've ever done. It really looks weird. Stick around, you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm digging out all the pieces of foam from the back, and I usually like to make it a lot deeper than the thickness of the wood so I can adjust my wood placement properly. And we're gonna pour foam all around it and make it rise. So basically it was just a little bit extra labor on our hand. Yeah, it's if you notice, it's a little bit of a in the curve side of the back, so it's not like a piece of flat area. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. It means that you have to dig a little bit more because there is no curve in the block of wood that you're using. So we still have to plant it in there to the point that it's not so flat. So I like to dig more underneath it. So when I put the piece of plywood in there, all I have to do, just make sure that I screw down the plywood for it to be held in place while I pour the foam around it, because it's going to be pressure underneath the plywood. I don't want it to pop out of the surface and to be sticking out, because that would be pretty tough to carve it down by the time we're done. So if you notice, I have pre-drilled all corners of the plywood, so I'm putting long screws in there, so it's going inside the foam very well. And at one end of the plywood, I have basically the plywood a little bit closer to the surface comparing the other side of it. So now all we have to do is adjust and pour our foam. So if you go to Tim Horton for Canadian friends, when you have your coffee, don't throw away the cup. Those are awesome cups for this purpose that you see. Just keep those cups. You rinse them and keep them. They're the best cups you can ask for mixing foam and all kinds of different stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I should just send an invoice to Tim Horton because I'm advertising for their coffee. So anyway, we'll let the foam rise. And then we start carving it out. The foam that I'm using, it's a polyurethane foam. It's a pourable foam. It's the same material that these forms are made out of. I hate this product, but that's the only product that we have to work with. When I sand it, when I cut it, the dust that it makes, it irritates me, and I just can't stand it. But anyway, suffer through it anyway. So anyway, I get my sawzall or reciprocating saw to follow the contour in the back and basically cut the excess foam off. Now our wood is there, solid and very strong, so at least we can now attach the mount to our stand and work with it conveniently. Otherwise we couldn't. Now, because of the shape of the back, when you put your mounting stand on it, it's not going necessarily hold up right. This block of wood is just there for us to be able to use it for the mounting stand. By the time we put this on, we have to wedge underneath it and adjust the angle of the mount, so when we have the mount right side up, the eyes and the face is exactly where we can see being placed level to the ground. So at least we can put our mount mount our animal in a good position instead of trying to fight and see which way it's the level, or are we setting our eyes properly? Are the eyes set nice and correct? So basically you have to adjust your mount on the stand and make sure that it's not going to be crooked. So now these forms are coming in pieces, so they cut them to be able to put them in boxes, and now we have to attach them together. The best way is using foam, but because we don't want to add any length, I chose to use Bondo here. Bondo is very strong, and when you apply it in thin layers and rub the two pieces together, make sure that it is really adhering to both pieces of foam. When you screw it down and leave it for half an hour, it's going to set properly. Anyway guys, this was the end of this video, and we will see you either tomorrow or the next day for the rest of the video. This is going to be an interesting project for you. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.